Alright, in this video we're going to do some function analysis. We'll be talking about intervals of increase and decrease and average rate of change, things of that sort. Alright, for problem number 9 we are looking at intervals of increase and decrease for the following polynomial function. Please remember that increasing and decreasing is only x values. Only x value. Alright, so increasing and decreasing intervals. Now, imagine that you are walking on this path, and in general we're going from left to right. So for part of the journey you would find yourself going uphill. Alright, now we're coming in from the left, alright, so we're really starting from negative infinity. Okay, but for this part of the journey we are going uphill, uphill, uphill. So clearly this is an increasing part of the graph. Okay, and it ends right there. Now in this direction it goes forever. So ignore the fact that this is pointing down, alright? As we go from left to right across the paper, we go up, down, up. In fact, let me just go ahead and do all of the intervals. So then from here to here is a decreasing part of the graph. Okay, and then back to increasing again. And then it goes ahead and increases forever. Okay, so we have an increasing, decreasing, increasing part of the graph. Okay, now I think it will help if we put some x values down on this thing. Okay, we use those two colors. I'll do purple. Okay, now all we care about are x values though, so let's just write the x value of this point. This point, see here's -2. They're counting by 2, so be careful. Don't think this is -1. This is like -2. So this is like -1.5 or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put -1.5. Okay, remember that is an x value. Obviously the y value is like close to 14, but I don't care about that. Okay, now the other point where it switched from being one thing to the other, in this case decreasing to increasing, was right here. And this is a little bit short of 2, it looks like. So this is about, I'm going to call it 1.8. Okay, but I'll give you a little leeway here. But something like about 1.8 looks good to me. Okay, so if I want to talk about intervals of increasing, well, let's see, which one do they ask me first? All right, I can say it however I want. So let's do intervals of increasing first, since that's just the first thing that I see. All right, so intervals of increasing. Hopefully you can see there are 2 of them. All right, there's one here and there's one here, both shown here in green. So since we're doing the x values, look at this first green branch and ask yourself, how far to the left does it go and how far to the right does it go? Okay, hopefully you can see that this graph is going to go to the left forever. Yes, it's going down, but we're talking left, right. Okay, so this branch, as it goes down, it's also drifting to the left. And it goes left forever. So this first increasing branch is going from negative infinity to something. Now, how far to the right does it go? Well, it stops at this purple dot. And we decided that this was about -1.5. So negative infinity to -1.5. Okay, now there's another increasing interval. So we're going to have to use the union symbol to join them up. Now, again, looking at this green branch, you should be asking yourself, how far to the left does it go? How far to the right does it go? Well, in terms of how far to the left does it go, it goes left as far as this purple dot right here. It's sort of, this is where it starts. But all we care about is the x value, and that's about 1.8. So we're going to start off here at 1.8. And then how far to the right does it go? Well, it goes to the right forever. Yes, it goes up, but we don't care about that right now. We're doing x values, and it goes to the right forever, so that is positive infinity. So these are the two increasing intervals. Notice how I use round parentheses, even though these are numbers, and that's because we can't include the endpoints. The graph is increasing on the green and decreasing on the pink. But right at the endpoint, it's neither increasing nor decreasing. So that can't be included in either set. So you leave it parentheses to show that. Now, we only have one decreasing interval. So let's do that in pink. Okay, so here comes our decreasing interval. I guess they call it interval of decrease. All right, looking at this pink segment of the graph, how far to the left does it go and how far to the right does it go? Well, when I say how far to the left does it go, I'm talking about this purple spot right here. And that is at an x value of negative 1.5. When I ask how far to the right does it go, well, this is how far to the right it goes. And that's ending up at 1.8, or very close to it. So this would be my interval of decrease, negative 1.5 to 1.8, x values only. All right, that was number 9. Let's see what's up with number 10. Find the average rate of change on the interval from 0 to 4. Now, average rate of change, please remember that rate of change is the slope. Okay, that's why when we do rate of change, we use the slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right, we just simply use the slope formula. And I have recommended making yourself a nice table of values. Okay, nice and familiar. Now, when they give you the interval, you have to understand that they are giving you x values. All right? 0 is an x value, and this 4 is also an x value. All right? This is not an x and a y. These are two x values that they're talking about. So let's put them on our chart. So there's 0 and 4. Now, our job is to find the y values that go with these x values. Okay? So let's go to an x value of 0 and look around. Okay, so here I am at an x value of 0, right on the y-axis. I will have to go down to get to the graph from here, and kabam, here's where I hit. So at an x value of 0, the graph is here at negative 6. Okay, so in other words, I'm looking at the point 0, comma, negative 6. All right, so let's conclude that. Next, let's go to a y value of, let's go to an x value of 4 and look around. All right, here's an x value of 4 right here. I see that I will have to look up to get to the graph from here. Okay, kabam, this is where I need to be. The y value here is 2. Okay, this is the point 4, comma 2. So there I'm just recording that point on my chart, 4, comma 2. Okay, so these are the points that I will use to calculate the slope. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that's going to be y2 minus y1. So 2 minus negative 6. And then x2 minus x1. All right, so 4 minus 0. Now be really careful with the 2 minus negative 6. A lot of kids just go, oh, 2 minus 6. No, it's 2 minus negative 6. I think it helps to put the negative 6 in parentheses. But this quickly becomes 2 plus 6 because minus and negative is addition. Okay, now 2 plus 6 is 8, and 4 minus 0 is 4. Okay, which simplifies down to 2. So this is the rate of change, the average rate of change for the interval they gave us. 0 to 4, 0 to 4. We worked it out. It was 2. All right, so that was number 10. All right, do I hear an 11? Okay, another average rate of change problem. I'm going to do this one more quickly now that we see how it's done. All right, make your XY chart. All right, this is x1, this is x2. So there's negative 4, and there is negative 2. Now let's find the y values that go with these guys. Let's go to an x value of negative 4. So here we are at an x value of negative 4. I'm beginning to see that we have to look up to get to the graph from here, and kabam. It is the point negative 4, comma 2. So negative 4, comma 2 is my first point. Let's get the y value for negative 2. All right, well here I am at an x value of negative 2. I can see that I'm going to have to go down from here to get to the graph. And I look down, 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 kabam! Here's where I hit. So this is the point negative 2, comma, negative 4. All right, let's record that. All right, negative 2, negative 4. Now the rate of change is the slope. Okay, rate of change is the slope, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to do y2 minus y1, so negative 4 minus 2, over x2 minus x1, so negative 2 minus negative 4. Again, right here is where a lot of mistakes happen. A lot of students will just say 2 minus 4, but it's not negative 2 minus 4. But it's not negative 2 minus 4, it's negative 2 minus negative 4. Got to have the double negative happening. Parentheses helps. Okay, so this quickly becomes negative 4 minus 2 over negative 2 plus 4. All right, feel free to use your calculator if you need it. But negative 4 minus 2 is negative 6, and negative 2 plus 4 is 2. Okay, divide this out and you will get negative 3 for your rate of change. Alright, this seems like a fun problem. We get to make up our own graph of a polynomial that has the following intervals of increase and decrease. Alright, so it's got to be increasing from negative infinity to negative 3. Okay, so so here's negative 3 right here. All right, so it's got to be increasing from here to here. Okay, so you know, there's many ways you can make the graph. So let's say, for example, if I make my graph increasing like this, okay. All right, so there it's increasing from negative infinity to negative 3. But I didn't have to put it here at 4. I could have put it down here at the line. I could have made the height anywhere. It just had to stop increasing at this x value. Okay, so check. I've done that. Well, I'm going to have to skip over and now do a decreasing interval. So from -3 to 0, it's got to decrease. Okay, so I'm picking right up from here at -3 again. From -3 to 0. From here to here, it's got to be decreasing. Okay, so it's going to start decreasing. And it's decreasing, decreasing, decreasing. Okay, and at 0, it's going to have to turn back around. Let me try that again. And again, it didn't have to be it didn't have to hit here at -3. I just made it do that because I felt like it. Okay, so it's decreasing from here to here now, from -3 to 0. And then it's supposed to be increasing, so check, I did that. Now it's supposed to be increasing from 0 to infinity. All right, so now we're talking about increasing. So I'm going to switch to green because that's what I use for increasing. And it's supposed to be increasing from 0 to infinity. All right, so from here forever. So it's supposed to be increasing. So I'm going to pick up from here with the increasing, and there, away she goes. All right, so this graph would satisfy the criteria. Okay, again, just to review, it was increasing from -infinity to -3. So -infinity to -3, it was increasing, like from here to here. Then it was decreasing from -3 to 0. All right, don't look at the y value, look at the x value. So it was decreasing, get my red pen going again. It was decreasing from here to here, from -3, see it, to 0, see it, but only look at the x-axis. And then it began increasing again from here to here. All right, increasing from 0 to infinity. And so it did. All right, I love that question. I hope we put one of those on the test. All right, and guess what? I think that was the last question of this lesson. I hope this was helpful. Oh, and it's time for class to start. I'll see you on the next video.